Well, after our result against Benfica last time out, this is probably last chance saloon for us in the Portuguese title race. On paper, they've got an easier run in, and of course, they got themselves that 2 point advantage by holding us to a draw at their place. But the crucial news is we've got two tough games today. We face the sides in third and fourth in the shape of Braga and FC Porto. And if we don't pick up results in those ones, we may well be looking over our shoulder when it comes to a Champions League place, which this club financially is desperate for. Oh, and by the way, a little bit of confirmation today too. I wasn't going insane after all. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 59 of the Coach's Head with me, Daniel. Sporting Lisbon desperately waiting for the return of Champions League money because the overall bank balance is completely shattered and the wage budget's not looking great either. Today, though, we've got a chance to restore a little bit of belief and a little bit of optimism at the club as Benfica have drawn their league game following our draw with them last weekend. And now we've got to get through Braga and Porto and find a way to win both. If we lose them, there is a risk we drop from second and we could go wrong in other areas as well. And financially, that could be crippling for the club. But if you're looking forward to seeing what we can do, then please do put a thumbs up on it. As you can see, we're now up to 3 players out today. Tom Laskowski has picked up a suspension, which is going to be a big loss for a game of this magnitude. And of course, last time we played Braga, we threw it away from 3-0 up. So I'm not entirely optimistic. The positive, though, is Benfica have drawn away at Vitoria Guimarães. They've got 4 winnable games after this, but they've offered us a little lifeline. And if we can find a way to get the goal difference up, then we will potentially be back in as favourites. For now, though, the focus is, can we get in a title race? And then can we win the Portuguese Cup? Let's start by going straight into the first game. We've not played any off camera. You were with me for that Benfica draw last time. We thought it was a worrying one then, despite being a good result. Could it end up being a good one if Benfica slip up a bit more? Let's go through to the team selection as Porto have won by 3-0. It's a big battle between them and Braga as well. So this side have got plenty to play for. When we came up against them earlier this season, we saw Francisco Conceição was one of the stars. They got plenty of other good players in there as well, to be fair. Their strike partnership, Nogueira has 24 goals this year. Alba's only got 3, but look at this guy. He's not bad at all, is he? Better than what we've got. So let's go and pick our 11 for this one. We have to make adjustments, and I'm a bit worried in defence. Gabia is an experienced season pro, but physically, he's well over the hill. Volleson, probably not good enough to bring in. And to be fair, Sarno's a natural left footer, which doesn't help us with Doyle alongside, although he is probably the next best. Kirkes isn't back to fitness, and I've tried to stick with our usual service in attacking areas. So Hervenhov remains on the bench, as does Pedro Mendes, and starting are going to be Otavio, Fatawu and Gabriel Silva in the more attacking role with Zacharias behind. So that means our 11 in full is a Lemdart in goal, Erasing and Vulcan the fullbacks. He's still deputising at left back, Doyle and Gabby at the centre halves. Not the type of game you want half your first choice back 4 out. Redondo and Telehovsky the midfield too. I thought about Continella and I'm still thinking about it. But I want to save that for the away game next week, I think. Then for Tawu, Otavio and Zacharias behind Gabriel Silva, looking for his 20th goal of the season up front. Let's submit the team. Let's get through to a big one here. There's no big events in this episode. There's not a lot to talk about off the pitch. It is all about these 2 matches, trying to find a way to win and also make up the goal difference at the same time. Might be quite difficult, that. It's the only chance we've got to get back in this title race. As with 3 changes for our visitors, they're actually a striker down as well, which is why Alba's playing. But Nogueira, the skipper's class, Conceição will deliver quality into the box. We know this is a good team. We know this is going to be a test. They're pushing Porto for 3rd. They're back amongst the elite as well. But I'm going to say you can secure Champions League qualification, and that is crucial for the club moving forward financially, because you've seen it's a bit of a mess having not reached the Conference League group stages this year. That's probably, with the results we would have got and the 3 million for the group stage, cost us a good 10 to 15 million. And that's restricted what's happened in a transfer window. So might be an interesting summer here if it can be secured. But early doors, it's defending that Sporting Lisbon are doing. And Zacharias, what a stupid tackle. I mean, I'm recording this the day after Luton v Oxford in real life. It's not as stupid a tackle as the one we saw in that game. It's not a million miles away. And VAR has said it's not a stupid tackle at all. No penalty given. We survived the first big scare. We're 20 minutes gone. It's 0-0. I'll take an ugly one here. Just want to get through it. If we can keep a clean sheet without Laskowski, that would be great too. Let's throw a bit of encouragement. I know we're trying not to use them as much now, the touchline shouts. We know they're going next year. But I need to work something into our favour here. So let's work down the right with a Racing's throw-in. Zacharias picks it up. The man who got away with that challenge earlier. Finds Gabbia, a replacement centre-half, and he gives it to Doyle. Just controlling possession here, not looking for that through ball. See, Braga have congested the middle of the pitch, but Zacharias has broken through. Great run, chance to shoot. He blazes it over. That's the only thing he's missing in his game. At that point, can he find a little deft touch for the through ball to either the right winger or the striker? Not on this occasion, but we are dominant as Silva chips into Fatawu. Good ball across towards Gabbia. Away as far as Otavio. Up for Redondo. He's hit the bar. The keeper wasn't even there. And he's tried to be so precise. For what reason, I don't know. We're battering them. The expected goals are over 1. But there's no goal at the minute. And we're going to be relying on the 18-year-old Pedro Mendes to come on and save the game, I think. Because we cannot afford to drop points here if we want to win the title. Braga have started the second half better looking at the stats, and they're in possession as we come back for the highlight. Cambiasso into defence. They're patient with the build-up. Nogueira's dropped really deep. Yarmouk to Alba. This would be typical. There's a great save from Alemdar. Braga playing through us pretty easily there, it must be said. I think we're going to see this out and then maybe look at changes because it has not been a good start to the half. Nogueira's header is over the bar. Who do I take off though? There's so many questions to ask here. And we can't even get a break in the highlights as it's a long kick forward from Alemdar. Silva loses out in the air. Nogueira's been forced backwards. Look how deep he's going there. Manages to get possession back though. And Alemdar plays into midfield. Yarmouk up to Alba and they're playing through us a bit easily. I'm starting to get concerned. They've given it away though. Silva's nicked it off the centre half. Now can we get support in there? Zacharias is arriving. There's also support from Telehovsky. Inside him is Fatawu. I'm about to take him off and he's hit the post. I thought he'd scored. Zacharias back to a Racing. Another chance to deliver. Telehovsky, we've got to make it count. How can you get the ball back in that position and not score? As Otavio's in to Silva. 1-0. But is it offside? It looked very close. It was a really well worked goal in the end, but I'm worried it's not going to count. Please, VAR, do us a favour. Goal awarded. 1-0 Sporting Lisbon. And that might change my plan substitutes here. We're just over 60 minutes. I'm going to make a couple anyway. I'm going to take off Abdul Fatawu, who's not had his best match. Mendes, someone who we know can contribute. Zacharias will be replaced by Hervenhoff. He'll play on the shoulder with Silva in behind. Now I'm going to do the usual change at left back. Volkanov for Asnu and Redondo for Continella. You know, I thought about that pre-match. I just think 2 ball busters, 2 hard-working ball winners in midfield. That'd be absolutely ideal. You can see we've dominated the match. We deserve to be more than 1 up. But the fact is we're not. And in this position, we've been punished once or twice this year. I don't want it to happen again. I'm going to take a Racing off of Volosin, who gives us a little bit more sturdiness at right back. He's a natural centre-half. And as we head towards stoppage time, I'm going to make no apologies. We're playing for a 1-0. I know goal difference-wise, this might not suit us, but I can't really take the risk now. We just need to get the points and hope that Benfica drop 2 more somewhere. That's all we can do. So we're going to drop Mendes to a winger on support. We'll do the same with Otavio. Silva can stay there, but what I'll do, just push these 2 back a little bit. Otavio will do it for now. I'm going to drop to a balanced mentality. I'm going to slow the tempo. We're going to time waste. Don't know the set pieces are ideal for us, but we'll be disciplined if nothing else. We'll slow the pace down. Still going to counter, I think, but not going to be in a rush to do so. We'll also drop that line of engagement and stop getting stuck in. We've got 4 minutes of stoppage time to hang on here, and we will be back level on points with Benfica. Yes, we've still got to go to Porto. Yes, they've got an easier run-in and a better goal difference. But could we close that gap now with Silva? Good challenge. Is that a penalty? I tell you what, this better be given. This better be given because we were about to pick up the ball on the left wing there with a 3-on-3 in the box. If you don't give this, you've cost us a counter-attack. I don't know why in FM incidentally, it stops mid-match rather than waiting for the key highlight or situation to end, which is what they'd normally do. He's given no penalty. And now we've lost out on a great opportunity to put the ball in the box, and we could have made it 2-0 anyway. If we lose the title by 1 goal on goal difference, I'm going to be very upset, let me tell you that now. A brilliant performance. Frustrating it was only a 1-0 win. But more importantly, the club is back in the Champions League, which it desperately needed financially. It's not been in the top 2 more than once in the last 15 years. And I think we've managed to get them back there. Now the question is, can we push on? Oh, I didn't know that. This changes everything. This changes everything. We're top of the league, which means it's done on head-to-head record, isn't it? It must be done on head-to-head record, in which case all we've got to do is win. Results between teams sorts the league rules before goal difference. The title's in our hands. I didn't think of that. I should have, because we were level earlier in the season as well, despite a worse goal difference. I didn't think of it. We've got our initial budgets now. Oh my word. Talk about a club in financial trouble. We've got them back in the Champions League and the transfer budget is 0. God, we better win the title this year because I'm not going to want to stay here. This is going to be the best chance for a long time because this club's going to have to sell afterwards. Certainly, it won't be replacing the players that end up leaving the club. There are a couple out of contract. Braganka, the legend, one of them, but also Laskowski. And by the way, I just want to say this now. I wasn't going insane. I said this right back at the start of the season when the deal got done. I thought it was a permanent deal, and then when it came along, there was no sign of it. But it was a permanent deal if he made a certain number of league appearances, which he has. So Tom Laskowski is joining permanently. I wasn't going insane at the start of the season, but I couldn't actually find any evidence of that deal, that it would become permanent after 25 appearances, even in sort of this stuff here. That I'm sure wasn't there before. I'm going to have a look, but yeah, I'm not going insane. He is staying. But by the basis of that budget, he's going to be the only summer signing. It is not a good sign for us at the minute. We're top of the league and it's back in our hands. Now, if we can find a way to win at Porto, this title race is well and truly on. Well, here we are. It's fitness test time and predictably, neither of the left-sided players are back, but we have got the return of our central defender, Laskowski. And also importantly, we're playing first this weekend. It's Friday night away at Porto in O Clásico. And yes, it could go wrong. It could go very wrong tonight. But if we win, it will pile the pressure on Benfica because this is the game where they'll be looking and thinking, we're going to slip up, let's be honest. Porto have found a bit of form again after a very difficult season. So let's go and get through to the team selection. Let's see what we can do. We're going to bring back in Laskowski at centre-half. We're going to put Gabiot on the bench for Sano. And the only other temptation which I'm going to go for is Continella, who replaces Redondo. And we're going to go for both of the ball busters in holding midfield. I have thought about bringing in Mendes off the right for Fatawu, who this week has thrown his toys out the pram, said he's going to leave at the end of his contract. Basically forces the director of football to sell him this summer. So do you know what? Biggest call of the season probably. I'm going to put the teenager in. Pedro Mendes replaces Fatawu for Porto versus Sporting Lisbon. That is 3 changes in total. Mendes in on the right, Continella in a holding role, and Laskowski back from suspension in defence. Let's submit the team. Let's get through to the biggest game of our time in charge here. If we win this and we don't win the title, there's been a disaster at some point. Let's hope that's not the case and that we can get the job done tonight. And then we'll go and look at Benfica's result tomorrow, where hopefully they do us another favour. Well, here is the Porto team. Thomas Avilés drops out of the team. The one really familiar name for us, but they've got some good players in there still. Not quite the same as they've started to go for a bit of a transitional period. And we've sort of benefited from that. But now we're on a good run. We want to do well. Just give me a win in this game, whichever means it comes by. Now we know goal difference doesn't matter. It's just whether we can take advantage. If we go a goal or 2 up, we'll probably drop back a little bit. We saw against Braga where we fell foul from 3-0 up, but a Vista from 2 up with 10 men. So here, I just want to get the first goal and then drop back. As Laskowski plays it to Alemdar, the goalkeeper, and out to Doyle, getting early control of possession, which is good. We've got to make it count as Volken, still deputising on the left, finds Telehovsky in the more creative role today. Wide to Otavio, match winner last week. What can he do here? Delivers to the back post towards Mendes. Silva's up, but he can get there, and he can deliver it from the right again. Back to Continella, into Mendes. What can the youngster do? Back to Continella, into Otavio. The flex up in the air. Silva's jumping at thin air. And Continella can't stop it being cleared. A positive start from Sporting Lisbon, but still 0-0 with 5 gone. Well, 15 on the clock. It's gone a little bit quieter now. We're going to encourage the boys, want to keep that morale up, because overall this game is so important. I mean, there's still a chance we drop 2 silly points somewhere else, but I wouldn't fancy us to lose any other games. As Cipriotti gets the ball inside, and we've nicked it back with Mendes, the youngster. Zacharias holds it up. 2 academy players in that attacking midfield role. And they've given it away there, which may not help our cause. I was about to proudly gloat about that. And then unfortunately, they've gifted possession back. As here Porto, patient as well, playing out from the back, but the quick switch has caught us out here. Millardo surges past Telehovsky, who's been dragged really wide. I'm not sure that's the best idea shape-wise, but Otavio nicks it from the pass back, then gives it away. He had a 5-yard pass on. What are you doing? Scally gets to the byline. Zacharias misses it. That's a penalty all day, is it? No. Volken's then giving it away. Why won't someone keep the ball? Alemdar tips it over. The players are winning the ball back and then literally just standing still, waiting to lose possession. Like they're paralysed by fear. It's a really concerning moment for us. Mora puts the corner in, headed away well. Both teams have got chances. Both teams look vulnerable. But at the minute, it's 0-0. And we haven't looked like scoring since the first 10 minutes. And here we are again with Porto in possession. Free kick in a fairly dangerous area. You can see from that match momentum popping up above my head. It's all happening now. As Mora gets it back to the edge to Millardo. Completely unmarked. I mean, that was predictable, wasn't it? It's one of the biggest complaints I have this year. I've just noticed the kits don't match for Porto either there. One of the biggest complaints I have this year, no matter what you set up tactically from set pieces, your players won't ever mark the edge of the box successfully. They just drift away no matter what you do. At half time, that isn't the only drifting because our title chances are doing the same. I'm going to say I'm disappointed. I'm going to go and get into the second half. We are yet to have a shot on target. I mean, I feel like we've got to go for it at some point because we're just getting outplayed at the minute. When do we go attacking? When do we make the changes? An hour on the clock. I mean, I've got to do something here, haven't I? There's some tired legs in that team too. Continella's on a yellow, so Redondo's going to come on. I'm also going to take off Otavio, who's knackered. He'll be replaced by Fatawu on the left. And then Zacharias will come off with Silva number 10 and Hervenhoff up front. Racing's had a stinker again. I mean, he's so poor. But unfortunately, him and Valesson are all we've got. So we're going to do that. We're probably going to go attacking quite soon. I feel like we've got to chase our way back into this game. Let's go attacking. Let's demand more. I mean, we might as well go down trying. The goal difference doesn't matter, does it? If we finish level on points with Benfica, we'll be above them. But at the moment, to do that, they're going to need to have a shock defeat somewhere because we aren't going to be able to pull it off as Mendes puts the corner into the back post. Laskowski off the line and then Telehovsky. How have you missed the second one? You're a yard out. The goalkeeper's there. Just go either side of him. We're going to take Mendes off, who's knackered. It'll be Souza on, Fatawu to the right. But this is not the level of sub we want to be bringing on for these occasions. Corner kick with a sub made. We don't even get to see it. I mean, you can see from the stats, though, we are coming right back into this game. There's 6 minutes plus stoppage time. We've encouraged one more time. Are we going to find a chance? Just one opportunity. I feel like that Telehovsky one was the moment. So we've blown it again. We lose 1-0 at Porto. And now we are relying on Benfica either drawing 2 of their games or losing one. It has been one hell of a topsy-turvy roller coaster this match, hasn't it? Or this season, sorry. We're level on points. Porto within 7 as well. We are going to need to pick up a win. I mean, to be fair, I know Hervenhoff's had a goal drought. He's not playing well. Let's give him a little bit of encouragement. If we go and have a look at the schedule, Estoril at home's tough, but I wouldn't expect us to drop any more points. What we've got to rely on, though, is Benfica. And in their next 3 games, or their next 4, sorry, they face Boa Vista, Casa Pia, Santa Clara. So 7th, 12th, 10th, and then on the final day, because I've accidentally gone to the 19th, they've got 9th place. They're mid-table sides. A lot of them haven't got much to play for. You can see Boa Vista, none of them fighting for Europe even, just sitting in the middle. So this is going to be very difficult. We're going to go through to tomorrow, just see how they get on against Boa Vista, and then we'll decide when we're going to be back. I'd imagine it'll be the final day, but at the moment, we're going to need a miracle, because I think we're about to be 3 points behind again. Well, it's Saturday afternoon, and we're just skipping through and hoping now. Can we get a miracle from Boa Vista? I think back to that game we threw away from 2-0 up after the red card. Is it going to cost us? Benfica tonight win 3-0, and I think that's probably their hardest remaining game. Barring a miracle, I think it's over. 3 games to go, 3 points behind. It only works if Benfica drop points now. So we're going to come back for the final game of the league season, which is against Estoril, who are no mugs, by the way, up in 6th place fighting for Europe themselves. And in the Portuguese Cup final, where hopefully we can at least put a trophy in the cabinet. We lost in the League Cup final to Benfica. It looks like we're going to lose the league on the final day to the same team. That'll be their 6th successive title. For the Portuguese Cup, we're favourites and we've got to make it count. So if you did enjoy this one, a tale of 2-1 nils, one that went for us and one that has cost us by going against us, and please do put a thumbs up on the video. It's all getting very tense with the results in April, isn't it? We're going to come back for the final 2 of the season. Is there any way, do you think, that Benfica drop points? Or are we just going to have to settle for second prize and hopefully a Portuguese Cup final victory as well? With no transfer budget for next season, with a reducing wage budget as well, what on earth do we do at this football club? Because it isn't going to go forward. Maybe this is the time where we have to just count our losses and hopefully say, look, we've restored you to the Champions League. We've put the cup in the cabinet. And hopefully then you can just forgive us for going. But we need to do those things first. Let's see if we can get over the line. If you want to stay up to date and see if we do, please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. A big finish to the season to come on Monday. But between now and then, we're back with Southend United tomorrow. If you missed yesterday's, then please do go and check it out in the eye above. It was a momentous moment in the save and hopefully a history-making one too. We've also got a big Sunday special coming as we look ahead to the announcement of women's football next week from Football Manager for 2025. I've got a little save ideas video to go. There'll be plenty of those over the next few weeks as well. Check out the links in the eye above to the blog, to the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. And don't forget, you can pre-order FM25 using my link in the description and add in the code LOADFM25 at checkout on Fanatical. Get an extra 5% off your order. Thank you very much for your support as always and for watching this one. It looks like the title may be a lost cause now, but next time out, we've still got a chance to put at least one trophy in the cabinet this year.